Taurus, your weekly love tarot reading begins with Knight of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Two of Swords, a decision, and a Tower moment. Your person is coming in with a Knight of Swords, the Emperor, Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. Wow, interesting reading. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Five of Cups. So a loss, a mourning, a separation. We're going to come back to that. Wow, just looking ahead, we've got moving away. We've got some gaslighting energy over here, a decision, a tower moment, somebody really not accepting a cup of love. Whew. A lot going on in this reading. Let's jump right into it, Taurus, with your energy and your person's energy. How do you both come into this next week or two? Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. You're both coming with a lot of forward momentum and energy. Knights are all about moving forward. They are all about bringing sort of momentum to a situation, actuating plans perhaps. But for you, it's all about moving forward in a very concrete way, step by step toward a goal. Knight of Pentacles, the most committed knight in the deck. And your person is much more sort of consumed with ideas right now. Over this next period, they have a lot of ideas. They have a lot of ambition, right? They have a lot of ambition, a lot to say, but we'll see how this actually resonates. It feels on the surface like a little bit of chaotic energy here. Night on night. Damn, Taurus. You never listen, Taurus. Nine of Wands. Let me tell you something about Taurus. You guys, I love reading for you guys because you always bring that heavy earth energy. If you go, especially for my collective, I can't speak for other channels or readers, but for my collective, if you go back and check out my other Taurus readings, you guys always bring your A game when it comes to the earth realm, the material world, your game, your money, your hustle, your environment, your body. You always bring your A game. And right now you are on your game again. You are steadfastly moving forward towards a goal. And I'm not entirely sure that this person is going to be able to keep up. Your person is kind of coming out of a period of confusion, a period of just being a little bit lost, flailing, not really having any direction. Yes, they have a desire to get to a particular place in their life, to get to a particular, I want to say, phase or stage or space where they can grow and begin to really work to some of their broader goals. But for a period here, they've been very sort of, I'm going to say, it's been confusing for them. You know, everything that they try isn't quite working out. They may be partying a lot, drinking a lot. They may be just very unfocused. They may be running into the same problems when it comes to sort of getting things done and achieving things. You know, they're running into sort of working towards goals and it doesn't work out. And then like constantly having to go back to square one and never really having that breakthrough in the way that they truly want to. And so this is coming across. Meanwhile, you're just like one step ahead of the next step, methodically moving towards your goals. Now, how do you guys see each other? Yeah, for you, a Four of Cups is there, and for them, Aries energy. Yeah, listen, this person is the type of person, Taurus, that they don't really listen. From your point of view, you feel like, you know, you may have offered them a cup of love, and they're not really there for it. You know, they're not offering you, or they're not coming back to you with the energy that you require. For them, they see you as an emperor. So you're a little bit intimidating for them, Taurus. You know, you're a little bit intimidating because, again, Emperor energy is the card for Aries. Some of you may be dealing with Aries or have Aries energy in your chart. But you know, for them, they see you as somebody who's a real go-getter, somebody who has already achieved a certain amount of success, has some wisdom, a sense of authority. And I think that you really, really intimidate them. For you, you know, yeah, they're coming across as not giving you anything, not really responding. You may have made a few attempts at trying to flirt or make a connection, or, you know, and they're just not coming forward. But why? Because you intimidate the absolute crap out of them. That's why, Taurus. Yeah. Not anything to do necessarily with how they feel about you per se, but you intimidate them. Let's get some clarity here, especially with that Four of Cups too, with the fact that they're really not sort of responding to you. It does feel like this may either be a new connection or a connection that's very young. Five of Pentacles for you and a Six of Cups. Well, they love you. You know, there's deep affection and love here. But yeah, they're very intimidated by you, Taurus. There is deep affection and love, but they are intimidated. Again, this feels like a new connection. And it's like you guys are feeling each other out. Right now, though, however, Five of Pentacles, this is interesting. You're worried about losing some stability here. You don't want to go back to where you were. You clearly are working towards success here with that Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles always achieves its goal just through sheer work. But, you know, you have this Five of Cups coming in right before your decision. I think for you, Taurus, you're trying to make sure that you do not fall into any kind of situation where your stability that you've worked for is sort of is threatened in any way, or, you know, destabilized in any way. You know, Five of Pentacles, yes, sometimes people are like, oh, you're broke, but this is also just about your sanctuary, your space, your physical space, your stability, making sure that the work is getting done, making sure that you're going to work, making sure that everything that needs to be done gets done, so that you don't find yourself caught out. And I think here it's much more a feeling of you being careful for that. And a decision comes in with regard to this relationship. How do you guys see your roles? Well, for you, you have a decision here. For them, they see their role as an Eight of Cups. Now, I'm not entirely sure if they feel, you know, here it feels almost as if they need to walk away from something else to be with you. Okay? Because there is deep affection here. So again, you may be dealing with someone, Taurus, who, in order for them to be with you, they see their role as maybe having to abandon some other things in their life. Maybe abandon some of the things in their life that is continuing to cause them to sort of be working away, but not achieving the goals that they've wanted to achieve. This is a real life change, it almost feels like, right? Nevertheless, you have a choice here. And for you, you're like, okay, you know, and I'm not, again, I think that choice is because they haven't given you any energy. Again, your person is intimidated. They feel a little bit overwhelmed. They may even be feeling a little bit overwhelmed about their feelings for you. But more than anything, they're realizing that there's some changes that they have to make in their life. And that, I think, is the thing that's most overwhelming for them. Most difficult. King of Pentacles. Wow. More Pentacles energy. You see what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I mean, like, you know, you can't make it up. It's right there in the cards, right? More Pentacles energy. Yeah, you're in a position right now, Taurus, where you're really about to reach another level of success in your life and in your business. And, you know, there's a very real decision here to be made about who you let in. Nevertheless, a Tower moment is coming. There is a shock coming. For your person, they're really starting to realize there's some destiny at work here. World energy. They're starting to really feel like things that are happening between the two of you are fated. Now, they also come in, possible outcomes. For you, that Tower moment, but for them, Eight of Swords. They may, for some reason, they may indeed begin to have some very toxic emotions here. Eight of Swords is a toxic feeling of being victimized, you know, but also a feeling of, there's a fear here. Again, they're very intimidated. There is a certain fear here, and they need to take care that they don't let that fear turn into toxicity and victimhood. Meaning, you know, they're afraid to actually move towards you or make that step towards you because there's this strong intimidation factor, and yet they resent this inability to move towards you, right? And that can turn toxic, because that can then turn into well, I want to be with this person, but you know, it's not my fault that they're like this, or it's not my fault that I can't talk to them. It's not my fault that I can't, you know what I mean? You know, I'm scared. That's not my fault. You know what I mean? That's that weird toxic twist that can happen when we don't follow what we want to do out of fear. You know, we don't want to face that fear. And so then we begin to try to put ourselves in a position of a victim so that we can, you know, somehow rationalize these emotions, right? And without having to face the fact that we're a coward. I mean, that's the truth, right? You don't want to face the fact that you're a coward. And so you come up with this, you, meaning people in general, come up with this whole complex situation, you know, toxic, basically energetic situation of explaining away, you know, what's happening, when the truth of the matter is that you're just being a coward and you're afraid. There is a Tower moment coming in for you, Taurus. So it's really down to you. Again, as I say, I think your decision is, do you want to deal with somebody who's going to be afraid, or do you want to deal with somebody who can step to the plate? And your person's decision is, do you want to step to the plate, or do you want to continue to be afraid? You know, choices, you know, it's all about choices. Let's get your oracle cards out now, Taurus, for this reading. We have Spirit of the Jester, Spirit of the Gargoyle, and Spirit of Connections. Jester, thief, trickster, hustler, watching out for that energy. Spirit of Gargoyle, protection, guardian, intimidation. You know, take that for what it is. Spirit of Connection, a fated meeting, a soulmate, a divine counterpart. Your person is beginning to feel that energy of this being a divine connection. Again, though, will it be enough for them to overcome their fear of rejection? I mean, if we come back to the bottom here at Four of Cups, this is absolutely the fear of rejection, or the fear of getting close and then being heartbroken more than anything. The Moth and the Peacock, both air energy. Knights are air. You guys both are coming in with strong air. You air of earth, and for them air of air, but air energy. Moth and Peacock. The moth is associated with, you know, getting too close to the flame, you know, getting attracted to the next glittery idea, the next shiny thing, whatever, you know, catches your attention without being aware, without, you know, being aware, you know, without being cautious, without, you know, realizing that sometimes all that glitters isn't gold, and sometimes it's very dangerous. Peacock. Peacock, also air energy, but peacock is a beautiful, beautiful creature. And the most beautiful thing about the peacock is the inside, because the peacock also sees beauty in everything. And so the peacock animal spirit reminds us that beauty is indeed in the eye of the beholder. And are you the type of person to see the beauty in everything? Right? To see how every situation is beautiful and positive, can be positive. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. This ran over a little bit longer than I wanted to. Taurus, thank you so much for joining me today. If you got anything out of this reading, if it resonated at all for you, and of course, these readings are not going to resonate for everyone, but if it did, go ahead and hit that like button. Perhaps consider subscribing or sharing my content. Any of those actions are really great for my channel, and I appreciate it when you take the time to do it. But that's it. This is Bow and Arrow Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for your weekly love tarot reading. And I hope to see you, your cross watchers, and everyone you love back here next Thursday for your weekly love. Bye-bye now.